Good morning and welcome to BASECAMP, the best way to start your day. My name is Tony and I've spent the last 12 years of my life as a missionary with my family. We have lived in an area of the world in Southeast Asia where the food is super spicy and the weather is really hot. And when I say hot, I mean the hot that makes you change your shirt 3 times a day because it's soaked from all your sweat. That kind of hot. Well, anyway, in Southeast Asia, there are a lot of people that have no idea about Jesus. There are people that have never even heard his name before, let alone know that he died for their sins. So when a person decides to follow Jesus, it's a really big deal. Oftentimes, when someone follows Jesus, they may be the only one in their circle or community that is a Christian. Though they may try to speak to their families and friends about Christ, they are met with resistance and sometimes even persecution. So for them, it's really important to know that they are a part of a community who understands their struggles and can encourage them in their faith. Isn't it true that we all had that longing to belong to a community? Maybe you're a musician, play in a sport, or love to game. Isn't it always better when you're able to do these activities with those that have the same love and compassion? Did you know that God understands our need for community? In fact, God does not expect us to be lonely Christians. God has given us each other as a way to stay connected to Him. This is why being in community with each other is so crucial to our relationship to God. Today, we'll be reading from Hebrews chapter 10, verses 24 and 25. Go ahead and open your Bibles towards the back and find Hebrews. Hebrews is found right before the books of Titus and Philemon, which are smaller books, and just before the book of James. Hebrews was written to a group of followers of Jesus that had a knowledge of the Old Testament. Throughout the book, the author shows how Jesus is greater than any angel, priest, or tradition. Hebrews encourages its audience to remember Jesus' position as above all and to persevere together under the authority of Christ. In verses 24 and 25, we are reminded that we need one another's encouragement to strengthen our relationship with Jesus. Here's what the verses say. And let us consider how to stir up one another to love and good works, not neglecting to meet together as it is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near. There were some Hebrews who were not showing up to church, which means they were not being an active part of each other's lives, which can be a very scary and lonely place to be. The author writes that we should consider how to stir one another to love and good works. As a group of followers of Jesus, we each have unique talents, perspectives, and skills we bring to the table. What this passage is saying is that God uses these unique gifts He has given each of us to help each other live more God-centered lives. And this happens as we are living in community together with one another. Think about community this way. Let's say this straw represents you. On your own, you feel pretty confident and you think that you can go through your straw life without any outside help, outside of the community. Let's say this book represents a challenge or two in your life. And on your own, relying on your own strength, you can hold up this book rather well. If I can balance it, it'll work. So relatively well, you can hold this up, right? Now, let's say the challenges in your life get multiplied out and it amounted to this book instead. Now let's say this book and the challenges and weight of the world come on you and this straw. What do you think is going to happen? Obviously, the straw is going to break under the weight and the pressure. Now, what if instead of trying to hold up the weight of the challenges of the world on your own, you came together in community with other believers who were praying with you and encouraging you to get through the challenges of life? What do you think would happen? You would be able to better hold the weight because you were now doing it in community with others. This is how God has designed us to live. God has given you a unique community of believers to encourage. Think about those in your school or at Collide who are trying to live their lives for God. How can you be an encouragement to them this week? Maybe you can share with them something that God has spoken to you this week from BASECAMP, or maybe you can ask how you can pray for them. Whatever way you can, be intentional about connecting with the Jesus community God has placed in your life over the next week. Hope this encourages you, and we'll see you next week.